After last week's Mareep challenge, which was pretty brutal in the middle, today's question is, can you beat Pokemon Emerald using only a single Wingull? I again need to mention Mah-Dry-Bread, who does challenge videos like this, so check him out after this one. This Wingull challenge is going to be significantly more difficult than the Mareep challenge. Wingull has a base stat total of just 270, 10 lower than Mareep. This means it has the same base stat total as a Wooloo. However, its speed is its only decent stat, meaning that it's almost guaranteed to hit first, but it won't hit hard, and due to its low defense and special defense, it will go down even faster. In addition to this, its 4 times weakness to electric, which is a very common type in Generation 3, means it's going to really struggle. Speaking of its weakness to electric, the third gym is going to be very painful. I'm not sure there's any way past it without having to grind to a ridiculously high level. On top of all of this, Wingull learns only 2 stab moves through level up in Generation 3, meaning we're going to have to get very clever with our TM usage. Thankfully, Wingull learns a lot more moves through TM than Mareep did, however, it has no moves to cover its electric weakness. I can see myself needing to use Water Pulse for decent stab damage, Ice Beam to deal with the Dragon type Elite 4 member, if we get that far, Double Team for the evasion luck, and Shockwave for super effective damage against all the water types in Hoenn, and Fly for a strong stab flying move. Fly also has the bonus of being one of the HMs that's required to beat the game. Now, let's get into the rules of this challenge. I'm only allowed to battle using Wingull. I will require other Pokemon for HM usage to advance in the game, but they can't be used in a fight. There is an exception in Generation 3, however. In Gen 3, you're forced to have several double battles, so I'll be using a low-level Magikarp with Splash to affect the battle as little as possible. Additionally, to make this challenge harder, I will not be allowing myself to use items such as potions in battle. But I will be using held items. This challenge would be impossible without them. And of course, I won't be able to use any glitches or exploits. Please leave a like below and leave suggestions in the comments if you'd like to see me attempt any other challenges. Let's go and get our Wingull. We arrive in the Hoenn region in the back of a lorry. I really think the bumpy arrival is going to be a good metaphor for the journey I'm about to embark upon. Going out onto the nearest route, I see an idiot being chased by a raccoon. He wanted some help, so I used one of the Pokemon in his bag. Who knew the one I would choose would be a Wingull? I swapped Wingull for Mudkip so that the water type move that we start with is not very effective against our rival starter. This would make the challenge more difficult to begin with, but eventually our flying type will have the advantage. There was no clear Pokemon I could swap here, so this is what I went with. Oh right, yeah, that's not an idiot, that's the professor for the region. My bad, everybody. He lets me keep the Wingull I used to help him. Oh god, why? Why couldn't you just keep it yourself? I named Wingull Pippin, as that's the name of Toby's real-life bird. Thanks for the inspiration, Tobes. I'm just going to put his stats on the screen. Pippin has a careful nature, meaning he has increased special defense and decreased special attack. This is about the worst nature to get on a Wingull, as I could have used it as a glass cannon, taking out other Pokemon before they have the chance to hit. However, with its special attack down, this is going to be even more of a struggle. I go to my first rival battle, and let's just say that my only attacking move is a not very effective Water Gun, which is a weak move to start with. No matter what I do, I cannot win this one without either some levels or some luck. My only option is to grind a little. This shows how difficult this challenge is going to be when I can't even beat my rival in the first battle. I reach level 7, where Pippin learns Supersonic. I hit Supersonic early, confusing Trico. I'm going to need some good luck here. Trico hits itself several times as I attack with Water Gun until it goes down. The next major event is helping out Wally. I don't really know why I get thanked for this, when all I do is stand by and watch him catch a Ralts, but I love praise, so I'm not complaining. In the Petalburg Woods, we have our first encounter with Team Aqua. He sends out a level 9 Poochyena, who I hit early with a Water Gun. This does more damage than I thought, so I go for it again. I leave him on a Slither, and then take a powered up Tackle for just 6 damage. One final Water Gun takes him out. I arrive in Rustboro and go straight for the first gym challenge. I went in very confident, as it's a rock type gym, and therefore Water Gun will be super effective. Unfortunately, I forgot that I also have a type disadvantage, as rock is super effective against flying. Damn you, Wingull! I easily take down Roxanne's 2 Geodude with a single Water Gun each, but her Nose Pass quickly becomes a problem. A single Water Gun only does a quarter of its damage, and whilst it hardens, this isn't a problem, but as soon as it lands a super effective Rock Tomb, I'm pretty much done for. I get left on 2 health as Nosepass eats an Auron Berry to heal up before being hit by another Rock Tomb to end this challenge. I grind a few levels and go for another attempt. The Geodude both go down as before with a single water gun each. Nice and easy. Nosepass comes out and I decide to confuse it early. It hits itself in confusion and then misses a Rock Tomb. Following this, it uses Block, preventing me from escaping, something that I couldn't have done anyway, and then it restores a little of its health with a berry. I get it into red health as it snaps out of confusion and misses yet another Rock Tomb. Roxanne heals Nosepass with a potion, not once, but twice, as I whittle it down with Water Gun. I didn't expect the first gym to be so damn tricky. This was supposed to be one of the easy ones. Leave a comment down below telling me if you think I can or cannot beat this challenge. I next get the HM for Cut from the Cutter's house, bad name aside, and then go for an Encarta to learn it. After this, I decide to go and help out a fellow Wingull, Pico. Pico has been taken by an Aqua Grunt, and due to the thing's weakness, it can't fight back. Do you see how bad this thing is now? I would make the same joke as the Mareep challenge where I say Pippin pities your weakness, but since I just struggled with the first gym, that seems a little bit hypocritical. I take out the Grunt with relative ease and reach level 20. I can now travel to Dewford and take on the fighting gym, but not before a second battle with my rival. It starts with a mirror match, but Pippin confuses her Wingull first, and I take it out. Her Trico is next, but thankfully I've learnt Wing Attack at this point, making her starter a breeze. The second gym is up and Brawly starts with his Machop. It easily goes down to a Wing Attack before it can land a hit on us. Meditite is next, and thanks to its low defense, it too goes down to just one hit. Makihita only attacks me once thanks to a berry, and so it too goes down pretty easily. After that win, I headed into a very dark granite cave. I decided not to use Flash for this, as it's pretty pointless. On my way through, I collected an Everstone and gave it to Pippin to hold so that he doesn't try to evolve all the time. I head to the Oceanic Museum where another couple of Aqua Grunts confront me. Pippin makes quick work of them with a series of wing attacks and water guns. Due to being 9 levels higher, this is all pretty simple. Further down the road, there is another rival battle. It starts with yet another mirror matchup, and I take her Wingull to red health before being hit by a wing attack of its own. I take it out and Slugma is next. Slugma is well known to be very weak, so a single super effective water gun takes it down. Finally is Grovyle, who gets one shot by a wing attack. The next important battle was against Wally, who easily gets taken down by a single Pippin wing attack. I feel like this is becoming a bit of a signature move. Following this is the gym I've been dreading, the electric type. If I get hit by any electric type move in this gym, it's pretty much a one shot. As displayed by the second trainer I took on, who hit me with an unmissable shockwave. I get through the gym and challenge Watson. As you can see, this goes so very well. I get one shot by his first Pokemon. This is going to be a real struggle. I decide to start grinding just south of Moorville, but this is a very slow process due to the low level of Pokemon. After a while, I decide that maybe I could try and win the double team TM in the game corner to try and luck my way through the battle. I started gambling, but anyone that knows me will know that 1. How easily I get bored of something, and 2. How much I hate losing or spending money. After a short while trying this gambling method, I give up. In hindsight, this was a good decision, as Double Team wouldn't have helped avoid a shockwave, as it bypasses the accuracy check anyway and hits 100% of the time. The grind continues with intermittent attempts at Watson before I go back at level 46. 26 levels higher than his first Pokemon. A single water gun takes out his Voltorb, allowing me to skip the first 100% accuracy shockwave. Out next is his Electrike, which meets the same fate. Next out is Manectric. In the failed attempts not shown in this video, he is the real challenge. So many times I got to this point and instantly died. I hit it with Supersonic in the first move to confuse it. After hitting itself in confusion twice and getting hit with a water gun, it reaches red health. Manectric heals itself with a Citrus Berry before being hit again with a water gun and KOing itself in confusion. Magneton is last, but I get paralysed after missing Supersonic. During the failed attempts, I learned that paralysis was a major problem, so I gave Pippin a Cherry Berry to heal himself. I get the confusion on turn 2, but get paralysed again. The next turn, Magneton hits itself in confusion, but Pippin fails to move because of paralysis. Magneton hits itself again, as Pippin gets off yet another water gun to bring it into red health. Watson uses a super potion to fully heal Magneton, as Pippin deals half damage with yet another water gun. Magneton snaps out of confusion and deals big damage with a shockwave, leaving Pippin with just 5 health. Thankfully, Pippin hits its next water gun, taking out Magneton and winning us the badge. This took so much time, it is unreal. Thankfully, I think the hard part of this challenge is over. I went out and caught a Poochyena for Rock Smash and collected the TM for Double Team on the next route. The next major battle was Maxie at the top of Mount Chimney. First is his Mightyena, who lowers our attack. Pippin takes it to below half on the first water gun before his ability, Keen Eye, prevents us from lowered accuracy from the sand attack. A second water gun takes out Mightyena. Zubat is next, who goes down to 1 wing attack before Camera Up gets easily dispatched by a single 4 times effective water gun. The next gym is up and it's Fire type. I feel confident because I have so many levels on the Pokemon at this stage of the game, and the gym is a Fire type, poor against Pippin's Water typing. This battle takes just 1 attempt. Numel comes out, but goes down to a single water gun. Next is Slugma, who meets the same fate. Camera Up comes out, and another water gun is enough. Finally is Torkoal. After 1 wasted turn due to attraction, it goes down with relative ease. Gym Badge 4 collected. Following this up, I catch him a chop for the HM strength. The normal type gym against my dad is next. He starts with his Spinder, a notoriously weak Pokemon. I hit it with Water Gun, which deals half damage, but I get confused by Tita Dance. Pippin hits himself in confusion before taking out Spinder. Next is his Vigoroth. Pippin continuously hurts himself in confusion while being hit hard with Facade. Eventually, he snaps out of confusion, misses Supersonic, and gets taken out by 1 last Facade. I tried this battle a few times before deciding that it was time to learn Double Team. I build up Double Team against Spinder, but get confused in the second turn. Pippin fights through and snaps out of confusion quickly to build up all 6 Double Teams for maximum evasion. Pippin gets confused again, and I waste a turn having miscounted the number of Double Teams I've used. Pippin then makes quick work of Spinder, but gets brought to 80 health due to being hit several times with Facade. Vigoroth is next, and I confuse it with Supersonic. It hits itself, and I start with the Water Guns. 2 turns later, and it's down. Linoon is next, who I miss with Supersonic. It too misses, but my second Supersonic hits, confusing it. It misses a few more times, getting a single slash off before going down to a wing attack. Finally comes out Slacking, a Pokemon with the stats of a legendary. I'm definitely within killing range. Thankfully, I confuse it, and it hits itself in confusion. Thanks to its ability, Truant, it misses every other turn, giving me a chance to hit it. I try a wing attack, but decide Water Gun is better, before it again hits itself in confusion. Slacking heals with a Citrus Berry as I continue to whittle its health down. A few turns later, it eventually takes itself out in confusion, winning me the badge. I next caught a Zigzagoon for Surf, and then headed to the Weather Institute. Inside the Institute, I battled against an Aqua admin. I used Double Team 5 times, and then decided to attack. I hit the Carvana with a Water Gun twice, taking it out. Next was her Mightyena, who used Swagger to raise Pippin's attack, but also confuse him. Pippin hurt himself in confusion once, before dodging a bit and one-shotting Mightyena with a powered-up wing attack. I forgot to heal before the next rival battle, so I went into it with only 17 health. Slugma was out first, and 1 Water Gun was enough. Next was Lombre, who used Fake Out for 8 damage and flinched Pippin. Luckily, Pippin managed to get a wing attack off in the next turn, KOing Lombre. Last up is Grovyle, who fortunately meets the same fate. The 6th gym battle was up next against Flying-type trainer Winona. I taught Pippin Shockwave for this fight to deal super effective damage. This badge cannot be cheesed with Double Team, as all of her Pokemon have the accuracy check bypass move Aerial Ace. First up is Swablu. 1 Shockwave takes it down. Next is Tropius, who goes down to a series of wing attacks, but gets healed in the middle. Pelipper comes out and goes down to a 4 times effective Shockwave after protecting twice. Skarmory comes out and hits a critical Aerial Ace as Pippin misses Supersonic. On the next turn it hits, and confuses Skarmory, who hits itself in confusion. A few turns of Shockwave, and another Hyper Potion later and Skarmory falls. Finally is Altaria. Pippin lands a Supersonic, and confuses Altaria, who raises its speed and attack with a Dragon Dance. A series of Shockwaves and confusion turns later, and down 2 goes Altaria. Next is another rival battle with May. Tropius is first, who goes down to 2 wing attacks, but hits Pippin with Magical Leaf for decent damage. Slugma is out, and a critical Shockwave finishes it. Pelipper comes out, and a Shockwave finishes that too. Grovyle is last, and a single critical wing attack takes it out. Thank goodness for that. Wingull, you're coming into your own! I next taught Pippin Fly as it allows him to avoid some attacks, and also went to the move reminder to relearn Water Gun for stab damage. I decided to get rid of Supersonic as it has a low accuracy of just 55%. For the next major event, there is a force double battle, so I caught a level 6 Magikarp who I called Fish. Inventive. This battle was easy, but I felt it was worth pointing out that I was doing this again to progress. Next up was another Maxi fight. Mightyena came out and I double teamed up 6 times. Mightyena used Roar, dragging out Magikarp, so I switched back to Pippin. Pippin takes a takedown and has to start double teaming again. 2 flies take out Might-Yenna. Camerupt went down to a super effective water gun, and Crobat was last, who brought us to red health, but with good luck and some shockwaves, it too went down, winning us this battle. Fish being dragged out in the battle was actually a hindrance, so hopefully no one will be too annoyed. The Aqua Hideout needed clearing next, and a fight with Admin Matt. First up was Might-Yenna again, and I started double teaming. I again get hit by Roar, and my Rock Smash HM Pokemon is dragged out. Again, this is a hindrance, as it leads to Pippin being confused, and needing to start double team again. He hit himself in confusion once, and then snapped out. 1 fly took out Might-Yenna, and Golbat was next. 2 shockwaves took it down, winning us the fight. What is it with the use of Roar at this point in the game? Next up was Liza and Tate. A gym battle, but a forced double battle. I tried to water gun the Claydol, causing just under half damage. I shockwaved the Xatu, dealing roughly the same damage. Just 2 psychics later and the challenge was over. This is going to need a lot of grinding. Whilst I'm grinding, I realised I forgot to mention that for much of this run, Pippin has been holding the Mystic Water, an item that powers up his water-type moves by an additional 10%. Back to it. Many attempts later, and I get a lucky run. I double team up 6 times as always, and only get hit by 2 psychics. I critical hit Fly on Xatu, taking it out. 2 water guns and a series of psychic misses, and down goes Claydol. A huge hit on Solrock takes it to the red health, where it eats a berry, and then next turn it too goes down. Only Lunatone is left, and 1 psychic will finish this. Luckily I get super fluky, and all of its psychics miss. 2 water guns later, and I finally got the badge. This took forever, possibly even longer than Watson, and was certainly an unexpected challenge. I really thought I'd be able to sweep them with no problem. How naive was that? I next got given Dive for defeating Magma Admins with Steven, and caught a Tentacle for Dive and later Waterfall. Following this was a battle with Archie. His Might-Yenna was first as always. 3 water guns were enough to finish it off, as Archie used a super potion. Second was Crobat, who hit Pippin with an air cutter before taking huge damage from a shockwave. Even after another super potion, 1 shockwave was enough to faint Crobat. Finally was Sharpedo, who is 1-hit KO'd. After being stolen away by the story for a while, the next big battle is Hoenn, the water-type gym leader. Love Disc was first, and Pippin starts double teaming. Unfortunately, Pippin gets hit with Attract, and often becomes immobilized with Love. However, 1 shockwave takes it out. Whiscash is next, and so I use Fly twice to take it down. Celio goes out to another couple of flies, Kingdra comes out next, and he starts double teaming. Thankfully, Shockwave bypasses accuracy checks, and so I repeatedly hit it. Hoenn uses Rest to fully heal Kingdra, and it eats a berry to wake up immediately. Pippin gets hit hard by Ice Beam, but continuous shock brings it back to a Slither. Hoenn uses a Hyper Potion in desperation, before leaving Kingdra with another Slither from a critical Shockwave. Again, Hoenn uses a Hyper Potion, but several turns later I get another critical hit, taking out Kingdra. 1 Shockwave was enough to finish his last Pokemon Crawdon, and we win the final gym badge. Before we take on the Pokemon League, I pick up the TM for Ice Beam, but don't teach it to Pippin yet. I do teach Pippin Water Pulse, however. We have our final fight with Wally, who starts with Altaria, who goes down to a few flies. Magneton goes down to a single Water Pulse. Delcatty comes to red health after 1 Water Pulse, but it puts Pippin to sleep. Whilst asleep, Wally uses a full restore and double teams. Pippin wakes up and hits a Water Pulse, also confusing Delcatty. 1 final Shockwave takes it out. His ace, Gardevoir, comes out but falls to 2 Water Pulses. Roselia is last, and a single Fly finishes it off. Next are the Elite Four. Sydney the Dark-type trainer is first. His Might-Yenna goes down fast to 2 Water Pulses. Absol is next, and another 2 Water Pulses take it out. Shiftry gets hit hard with Fly before it crits us with Extra Sensory. Another Fly takes it out. Cacturne is next, and a Fly brings it to low health. Sydney full restores as Cacturne gets hit by another Fly. Another full restore is used, and Cacturne gets hit again by Fly as he seeds us. 1 more Fly takes it down, and Crawdaunt comes out. 1 Shockwave takes it out. I heal and take on Phoebe. Phoebe is a Ghost-type trainer. Dusclops always protects on the first turn, so I use the opportunity to use a double team. I don't use many more as it has Shadow Punch, a move that cannot miss. I hit a Water Pulse and deal big damage, taking it out in 2 turns. Burnett was next and goes down to a single Water Pulse. I use a Fly on the next Dusclops and then hit hard with Water Pulse as she misses. Dusclops heals with a berry and gets hit by another Water Pulse, taking it down. The second Burnett is up, and I choose to save PP on Water Pulse and go for Shockwave. 2 additional Shockwaves later, and Burnett goes down. Finally is Sableye, who attempts my double team tactic, but goes down to 2 Water Pulses. I heal again, and restore more PP to Pippin's moves. Glacier, the Ice-type trainer, was up next. I double team 4 times, as then I can take down Celio in 2 turns and stop it from starting Hail again. On the last turn of double team, Celio hits a Body Slam, dealing big damage. 2 Shockwaves take it out. Her first Glalie comes out, and so I finish off my double teams. Several Water Pulses later take it out, as Glacier uses a full restore halfway through. Her second Celio comes out, and I Shockwave it down fast. Glalie 2 is out, and it meets the same fate as the first, heal and all. I'm getting very low on water pulses. Out is her ace, Walrein, who I strike with a shockwave. 3 shockwaves later, and it falls, having missed 3 ice beams. On to Dragon type Elite 4 member, Drake. Before I start this battle, I teach Pippin Ice Beam, replacing Water Pulse. Shelgon goes down to 1 Ice Beam, as does Salamence. Altaria meets the exact same fate, and this feels like a sweep team until Kingdra comes out. I Ice Beam it down but waste a lot of power points, and Drake uses a full restore. Flygon is last and 1 Ice Beam takes it down, taking us to the champion. I tried this fight with Wallace a lot, but at this level it just wasn't possible for Pippin to win. I genuinely think I tried this fight a good 70 times, but the luck was just far too much. I need him to miss with almost every move on all 6 Pokemon. I play around with different items, like a berry to help us survive Toxic, but eventually I formulate a plan. I decide I'll grind up more, up to the high 90s. I also decided that since I was using Fly a lot and no longer had a water type move to make the use of Mystic Water, I would instead give Pippin a Sharp Beak to hold. A Sharp Beak is the same as Mystic Water, but increases the damage of flying type moves. However, the only way to get this in Emerald is through a 5% chance that a Doduo or Dodrio are holding it when you catch them. Furthermore, the only place to catch these Pokemon is in the Safari Zone. So I did just that. This felt like it was going to take a long time, but my first Doduo was holding a Sharp Beak. Next came the grind. I decided to grind on all the trainers I'd missed in Victory Road, and all the trainers just to the west of Pacific Log Town. In addition to this, I would need to train on wild Pokemon in Victory Road. What you're seeing now is just 1 level sped up. This took a lot of time. As you've already seen me beat the Elite Four at a lower level, I didn't bother recording these again. So here we go. Can we beat Wallace? Out comes Wailord and I double team up all 6 times, whilst taking big damage from a blizzard. 2 shockwaves and it goes down. Tentacruel is next, and a series of shockwaves took it out, even though Wallace used a full restore. Milotic was next, and from previous experience, this was going to be the tough one. I knew it would just use Recover if I got it to low health, and didn't crit it. However, through the 70 attempts previously, I noticed that if Pippin was at low health, Milotic would not use Recover, and would just try to brute force through the evasion increases and take Pippin out with an Ice Beam. Hence, I decided to hit it with Shockwave, and hope it would hit me once, and therefore stop it using Recover. I eventually got bored of this tactic, as it clearly wasn't working, and I was running out of power points on Shockwave, so I Ice Beamed it. Through sheer luck, I freeze it on the 3rd hit, and then critical hit it with a Shockwave. Ludicolo came out, and started double teaming, causing Pippin to miss the first fly, but the second one hit, one-shotting it. Now is Wallace's Wish Cache, and a real problem. I can't Shockwave it due to its ground typing, and Wallace loves to use healing items on it. Just a few hits and I would go down. I use Fly in the hope that I can avoid some more hits, as it brings us to 58 health. I eventually take it out. Last is Gyarados, and I save some Shockwave hits just for him. He is 4 times weak to Electric, so 1 hit takes it out, putting me and Pippin in the Hall of Fame. This challenge was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, with some random points in the game causing some real challenges. I know you want to see me take on Steven in the final boss fight, but I genuinely don't think it's possible. I can't get Water Pulse back, a move I needed to get rid of to beat the Elite Four and the champion, and so I don't have a strong super effective move against most of Steven's Pokemon. Still, if you do want to see that attempt, we need to hit 35 likes on this video, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in the next one.